opening contest at American Rana in front of a packed house. Only time will tell, Pedro.
Time will tell at 60 minutes.
Let's kick it up to Rich Palladino for our official in-ring introductions.
Introducing first the challengers to my right. Sponsored tonight by Jeff Pedersen, MD. Representing the Create a Pro Wrestling Academy. At a total combined weight of 350 pounds, Anthony Vecchio, Aaron Ortiz, the Shooter Boys. And their opponents to my left, they are sponsored tonight by your fan. Tonight, they make their 11th title defense of a 288-day reign. At a total combined weight of 429 pounds, they are the current reigning and defending Wrestling Open Tag Team Champions, Brad Baylor, The Smoke Show, Ricky Smokes, Swipe Right.
And look at that, a few days ago, right here on Monday night for Wrestling Open Rhode Island during that contract signing, it was Aaron Ortiz and Anthony Vecchio getting in the faces of the champions. So the champions defiantly saying, this is what you're up against.
Call them what they are. They're bullies. That's what bullies do. They mock, they poke, and they prod. Why? Because they're bigger, because they're stronger. They're the champs. They're the champs. And honestly, it's all, what is it? It's all on the Shooter Boys. It's all on the Shooter Boys. If they don't win tonight, Swipe Right leaves again as the champions. This is their 11th title defense.
11th title defense ever since November of last year, and time can creep up on us. That was a long time ago at this point. I thought it was just December a couple days ago, but I looked up and it's the end of August, but they have been reigning as your champions with successful title defenses against Sunshine Machine. Shooter Boys back at the Autumn Classic on Thanksgiving. The Miracle Generation at the Last Stand. Big Buffa and Jermaine Marbury. Jermaine Marbury and you, the shot caller Pedro Donez. Big Business and Brad Hollister and Love Doug. Mathers and Clancy. The Shooter Boys again, starstruck and shot through the heart. Who else is left?
You know what? That's a good question. If the Shooter Boys don't come out on top, I mean, could they retire the titles? I know it sounds ridiculous. I know it's hyperbole, but who is left? They've taken on all comers more than once. More than once. And they come out on top each and every time.
And a lot of teams in their position would try to dodge or skirt around different things, but they are stepping up here to defend those titles. Yes, it was the Shooter Boys winning the Von Erich Classic alongside a Bobby Orlando that got them this shot. But man, they are here. They look ready to go. They are in prime condition. But the Shooter Boys, they know that even though they are very, very early on in their career, this could be their last chance at these titles.
You know, if there's a word I would use to describe the Shooter Boys, it's meteoric. That describes their rise. I mean, a year ago, that was not too long ago, they had a match on Open where they wrestled each other. That's how green they were. And now they're on the biggest show of the year for Beyond Wrestling. And let's point out, this is a Beyond Wrestling show. The Wrestling Open titles are opening up this main card. It just shows you what can happen in just a short amount of time.
As the Shooter Boys, you said it, starting off by winning a tryout, and for winning the tryout, they got to wrestle each other later that night, and they were iron sharpening iron then, but man, they have really gone through that sharpening process over the last few months, especially here in Rhode Island, where it just seemed like right away, this Cranston crowd came to life for Aaron Ortiz and Anthony Vecchio.
And it shows you it's Rhode Island. People, again, Beyond Wrestling Open. I have headphones on. When they came out, I could hear it through the headphones. Rhode Island, Cranston, Rhode Island loves the Shooter Boys.
as Aaron Ortiz and Anthony Vecchio.
No, I also want to point out, you talk about taking on all comers, young, old, seniors. I want to point out that when they beat me in Marbury, I was a last-minute replacement, and they were still ready. They found out I was in the match the day of. They still took the match, and they beat us. And they beat us fair and square. So it shows you it doesn't matter who's in front of them. They're a champs for a reason.
And Aaron Ortiz and Anthony Vecchio, in many ways, it's like looking in a mirror with Swipe Right, because when they started here as individual competitors, came together as a tag team very quickly, and they had a lot of success for their level very quickly when they first started. It took a while for them to finally reach the mountaintop to become the tag team champions, and that's very much what it's been like for Shooter Boys, because they had success, but they weren't able to reach that mountaintop. So very similar between these two teams.
We're talking about mountaintops. How about the fact that Ricky Smokes is the elder statesman in this match, and I think he's 24 years old.
And look at that. Enziguri, as Ricky Smokes got that blind tag, he took his time, hits a spear, absolutely crushes Ortiz, makes the cover, gets a count of 2.
Beat a lot of competitors with that spear. And shout out to Rev Will. I completely missed the tag. We got our ref in there, one of our senior referees, he caught that, but he's not catching this right now.
And he's senior because he's 81 years old.
Hey.
And Swipe Right taking advantage of Aaron Ortiz, and listen, he wasn't able to catch that. Swipe Right knows exactly how to manipulate the referees to their advantage, and that's something they have carefully crafted over the last year.
People, let's bring it back to the fact that they've been ID'd. They're at NXT. Who runs NXT? Just a guy named Shawn Michaels. They're learning under the tutelage of one of the best to ever lace up a pair of boots. So yeah, I would say they have the champion's advantage. They have a veteran advantage. I can't believe I'm saying that about a 20-year-old kid. But everything points to the Shooter Boys not coming out on top tonight.
One of my great broadcast partners from the past, Brother Greatness, as you know, would always refer to Brad Baylor as the 20-year vet back when he was just 20 years old, because even though he was 20, he carried himself like he had been in this sport for 20-plus years, and now just absolutely carving apart Aaron Ortiz.
There's just some things you can't teach. He has innate ability. He has innate instincts at 20 years old. Could you imagine him 5 years from now?
As Brad Baylor just continuing to pick apart Aaron Ortiz here. And remember, this is the third time that the Shooter Boys have been challenging for these titles. They got it because they went to the Von Erich Classic Finals. What an unbelievable final that was, as Bobby Orlando and the Shooter Boys knocked off Mint, Gaul, Nick Petit, and Jose Zamora. But this is a totally different scenario. Hold on. Oh, look at that. That is something that Swipe Right has done many times in the past to great success. Aaron Ortiz thought he had it scouted, but Ricky Smoke said, just when you think you have it scouted, we go ahead and change it just a little bit.
And the thing is, I've really enjoyed Aaron Ortiz coming into his own, the intensity, but intensity only gets you so far. He's given up at least 15, 20 pounds, 4, 5, 6 inches in height. At some point,
makes the cover. Yeah, it catches up with you.
My old football coach used to tell me there's 2 things you can't teach. You can't teach speed, and you can't teach size. And you can't teach heart, and that's what Aaron Ortiz has.
That's what Aaron Ortiz has, but Ricky Smokes and Brad Baylor have just about everything else in their way. The things that they have in their pocket, their skills, their success, the fact that they have been growing as a team, where a lot of teams would let it go to their head, and certainly they have an arrogant attitude, but they have showed just why they are the champs. Wait, hold on. Ortiz, he has that chance to make the tag here. Can he get it? Look at this, holding onto that leg. Ducks the Enziguri again. Wait, no. There is a tag to Vecchio. Here comes Anthony.
He's fresh and he's pissed.
So here we go. Neck breaker. As he is going to have to try to go through both champions here. But here comes Baylor already. Ducks down. Big German suplex.
Scheiße.
Anthony Vecchio showing that he is not afraid of the moment, showing that he is not scared of Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes. Oh, he's going to try that Magnum belly to belly, but again, Smokes had that one scouted. He was a step ahead one more time.
How can you not be impressed by the tag champs? How can you not be? Oh, here we go.
This is what Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes said on Monday. They said, you can't beat us. You have never beaten us. You will never beat us. And it's because just when the Shooter Boys think they have a light at the end of the tunnel, Swipe Right shuts the light off.
I mean, I'm sure it's happened recently, but I don't even remember that. People, not only are they tag team specialists, but they also partake in singles competition. They are, whatever the next level above total package is, that's what Swipe Right is. But it's things like this. It's things like this. The gyrating, shout out to Ravishing Rick Rude. The flexing of the muscles. That's the kind of stuff that makes you lose your edge. And I don't know if it's a little too much cockiness, but that might come back to bite them.
The scary thing about them is I think they have found that perfect balance where they can be arrogant, they can be cocky, and then just when the Shooter Boys get an advantage over and over again, Swipe Right cuts them down. And look at that, the temper of Ricky Smokes on display, and Ortiz is saying, get them out of the ring.
And I've heard you mention on broadcast in the past, if there's one Achilles heel, it's that Ricky Smokes, when things aren't going his way, can lose his cool. I've never seen Brad Baylor lose his cool, but it's a team. It's a team sport. So I would wonder if that, again, is that something that can come back to bite them in the behind?
To me, it doesn't look like it's going to be. I mean, you look at the frat boy energy that Swipe Right brings. You know, you have different members of a group in the frat. Ricky Smokes, the hothead. Brad Baylor, cool and collected, but don't get it twisted. He can get mean. He can get nasty. But Aaron Ortiz and Anthony Vecchio, they have to find that edge. They have to find that side to themselves, because right now it looks like the champs are cakewalking to another defense.
Even the little things. The fact that Ricky Smokes rolled him back in the ring and rolled him at the same time to cut off the ring. And cut off the ring he does once again.
Absolutely beautiful. And look at Smokes, that smile on his face says it all. And look at that. Vecchio giving it right back. Vecchio gonna go into that corner. Rolls backwards. Double stomp from Smokes. He's out. He's out. Vecchio gets the shoulder up at a count of 2, and Swipe Right cannot believe it.
You know, and the thing is, Vecchio was going for that German, that rolling German. I wonder if he did that because he knew that Aaron was not in the corner. Maybe if Aaron's in the corner, he goes for a tag.
As Swipe Right, Brad Baylor, Ricky Smokes continuing to go after those things that have won them matches in the past. Ricky Smokes has won a lot with that double stomp. I wouldn't be surprised if Swipe Right starts to open up the gates, bring in those signature moves that have won in the past, because I think they have just been picking them apart. But it seems like to me, the Shooter Boys are right for the kill.
We just heard this match has hit the 10-minute mark, and these guys are barely breaking a sweat. How long can they go? Are they going to try to put the Shooter? Oh,
look at that. There's a tag to Smokes. There's a tag to Aaron Ortiz. Here we go.
And Aaron Ortiz is coming in, House of Fire. Everything's in the center of the ring. He knows what he's doing.
Ortiz reversed. Dives down, takes a big risk, and it pays dividends as Aaron Ortiz saw the opening and he capitalized.
Stop. It's not the time to stop. Don't celebrate.
They got to keep moving. If they want this chance, they've got to keep moving. There is a Northern Lights, and now Ortiz, he has got to focus, because Swipe Right has been a step ahead at every single point of this match. Can they prove their point by saying the Shooter Boys will never beat them?
This is not the time to be gallivanting. It's not the time to be celebrating with fans. Now is the time to capitalize on the fact that Ricky Smokes does not have a partner in his corner. Brad Baylor is barely getting himself up.
Going up top. Here we go. As here we go up to the top. He got him, brought him down from the heavens.
Variation of a single arm butterfly suplex right there, and it's not enough.
Ricky Smokes out at 2, and man, this place was about to explode, but instead, Swipe Right continuing with their actions to remind the Shooter Boys that perhaps what they say is true, that the Shooter Boys will never beat them.
I mean, the numbers don't lie, right?
And look at that. Speaking of numbers, Aaron Ortiz just looked over and Vecchio's still down.
He's still down. And this is the second time in the match where they did not have someone in the corner.
Here we go. Northern Lights with a bridge. No, he knew he had to float over right there, but Brad Baylor hanging on. There is Smokes as they are continuing to be ahead of the game. No, maybe not. Ooh, rising knee. There's a tag.
Now it's 2-on-1 in the other direction.
Here we go. Olympic slam. Smokes is down. This could be their opportunity.
It's just Brad is 1 against 2 right now.
It's the elbow drop. Is that it? Baylor out at 2. Unreal. Unreal.
That may have been it. That may have been their shot.
This is why we have the best tag team division in all of wrestling. These two teams, no matter who wins, you gotta give hats off.
No matter who wins. You know who wins? The fans. The fans, as corny as that sounds. They're going for their
Here we
finish
go.
right here.
They're gonna go for the blockbuster. Down goes Vecchio. Oh no, Baylor reverses into the Ushikoroshi. Shotgun drop kick. This is like deja vu to the Autumn Classic last November.
Good job.
Here we go, super swipe. They got it. This is it, deja vu. Aaron Ortiz breaks it up at the last second.
I was ready to congratulate the kids and tell them to be proud of themselves. I'm glad I didn't speak too soon.
As Brad Baylor is in utter disbelief, Aaron Ortiz came out of nowhere, and now you said it. I've never seen Baylor mad. I think we're seeing it right now.
He is, and to be honest, right, he's pissed. He's pissed, and rightfully so.
Because no one gets out of super swipe, whether it's by kick out or someone breaking it up. That just doesn't happen. But now Anthony Vecchio, I think, is perhaps going to meet the same fate.
I mean, it's safe to say, I think we both thought it was over.
I clearly thought it was over. I didn't see Aaron Ortiz anywhere, and Vecchio trying to realize what hemisphere he's in. As here we go, they're gonna try that super swipe again. Oh, no! Oh! Ortiz grabs Smokes, there he goes! There's a forearm.
I've never seen a guy go over the top. Oh, wait a minute, what's going on here?
What is this? No way! Super swipe? Are you kidding me?
No way.
Baylor out at 2. What an indignity that would have been. However, the Shooter Boys are oh so close to becoming the new Wrestling Open Tag Team Champions.
Everyone thinks it's cute to use someone else's move, but you saw Aaron, he didn't know which way to go. So I'm surprised that they even got any of it off, but they didn't get the full effect. They didn't get the full effect, and that's why it wasn't enough.
It took that extra half a gallop across the ring, maybe. And look at that. Smokes with that forearm to the back of the head. And now Aaron Ortiz in there all alone.
We have passed the 15-minute mark, people, and this is match number 1.
Now they're talking. Now they're talking in there. They're communicating. This is what they do better than anybody. And this is why they have been the champs and why they are looking to remind the Shooter Boys, you will never beat us. You will never be on our level.
What are they going for here?
Gonna go. Oh, come on. Double pedigree. No! Double jackknife! Double kick out. Here comes Ortiz and Vecchio. They are trading shots here in the middle of the ring.
Now it's just a fight. Now it's just a fight.
Here we go, swipe right. They're gonna bring it, but so are the Shooter Boys. But so are the champs. Off the ropes. Super kick, ducks down. Combination on the German suplex.
He landed right on his neck. He might have a broken collarbone after that.
As here we go. They have him set up in the corner. Could it be? Could it be? Blockbuster makes the cover. We have new tag team champions.
The time of the fall, 16 minutes, 52 seconds. Here are your winners, and new Wrestling Team Champions, Anthony Vecchio and Aaron Ortiz, the Shooter Boys!
The third time was the charm for Aaron Ortiz and Anthony Vecchio, the Shooter Boys, as they are finally able to look at themselves and say, we are the Wrestling Open Tag Team Champions.
From tryouts to champions.
As the roof blew off this place, as the Shooter Boys are your new Wrestling Open Tag Team Champions. What an unbelievable moment for these young men. But we have to say, hats off to Ricky Smokes and Brad Baylor. They weren't in there trying to take shortcuts. They weren't trying to do any of that. They brought it, and they went down like champions.
I hope they have a moment of reflection, realize that they should be proud of themselves. But I don't think it's gonna happen.
And that is just our opening contest here tonight at American Rana, as we have so much more to come here tonight. Let's take a look